Hello, so in this video we're going to look at how to convert interest into enrolments once you've got the referrals, and also some troubleshooting of campaigns and to make sure they're getting you the best possible return on investment. And we'll look at some of the common issues that occur when launching a referral campaign. So first of all, for converting the leads, so initially you're getting the referrals, you're getting people's email addresses, you're getting people interested in your camp, and you want to make sure that you're moving them down the funnel. So you'll have seen this before, it's a typical sales funnel. So you're getting your brand, your camp, you're getting the awareness, and then they're moving down here, and then eventually they're becoming customers and taking action and buying a session at the camp. This goes through a process, and you've got to be making sure that you're nurturing your leads that are coming in, that you're not just collecting email addresses and expecting them to enroll straight away. It can take quite a long time for them to turn into enrolments. And in that time, you just need to make sure that you're staying top of mind, that you're continuing to send them good quality content and getting them to learn about what you do as a camp, let them know about what you stand for, what your values are, sending them good quality content each time, and then eventually, after they've known you for a while, they've trusted you, then they eventually become a customer. There's some research into this, and they think that it takes roughly 7 hours of engaging with your content before they'll make a decision. And that comes in the form of lots of different things, and we'll get into that in this training. So it comes back to this diagram again of what it takes for a stranger to become a customer. And we've been through it already, so I won't go through the whole thing. But we've got to consistently take them down this journey. And as we've said, referrals can do the majority of the work for you. And it might just involve sending them a little bit more content to push them over the line. And again, the testimonials, the reviews, the recommendations, all are doing that work for you. But it might just take that little bit of extra effort from having a good quality website, some excellent content, some really nice videos on your website, things like that, and some extra follow-ups. Just maybe it's taken them all the way down here, and it just needs that little bit extra to take them over the line. So it's through this good quality content, it's through consistency, it's through following up, really just push them over the line. And it's giving them that 7 hours of content or 7 hours of contact with you to allow them to make that decision. So that's the kind of way to think about it. So what do we mean when we talk about good quality content? And this is a lot of it comes down to the website which they arrive on. And most camps now are realizing the need to have a really, really good quality website which is clearly presented. It communicates the values that your camp stands for. Video is key, and if you haven't got video content on your website, you've really got to get it, and it's well worth investing the money in a really good quality promotional videos. These can do a lot of the work for you again, so it's well worth having them there. And having a really consistent marketing approach, so you're not just hitting them up on email, it's on social as well, it's communicating with them regularly, always providing value, putting good things on your blog, linking to the blog, always focusing on value. What can you do for them? How can you create a good quality relationship with them? And think of the relationship as being lifelong, not just for the sake of getting an enrollment, but it's about what that will do for them with their experience in the summer, do to them for the rest of their life. So, think about these relationships as being lifelong, and this is just the start of a very long relationship with them. So we'll get onto some troubleshooting now. And these are common issues we've seen with camps we've worked with, and some of the ways you can solve some of these problems. So the first one that lots of camps come up against is that not many families are joining their program. And there's a few things to ask yourself. First of all, you've got to be tracking it. If you're not using a system, then you've got to be tracking it yourself. And you've got to think, how many families have you got? How many families have you invited? And how many of them are joining the program? Inside Camptree, you'll see conversion rates, so how many customers you've got, how many have joined, and then the conversions. So if you've got a low conversion rate, obviously you need to do something about it. And there's certain things you can think about are, did you test it before you launched? Maybe there's a little glitch, maybe something's not quite right, maybe the messaging's not quite right. So test it yourself before you launch. Maybe test it with a few of the families and just walk through it with them to make sure it all makes sense for them. Make sure the incentives are right as well. Ask them if it would actually make a difference to them if that was offered for referrals. A join incentive is really good. You could offer something small for them to join, and as we discussed earlier, it's just a way of showing to the families that you are noticing their efforts and the system works, so they're more likely to continue sharing after that. So yeah, make sure we've chosen the right incentives, and then make sure the communication of the program is right. Make sure the way you're asking has been all about them. It's been about what value that they can bring to other children for referring you. Communication being at the right time. Have you done it straight after they've enrolled in the camp or have finished the camp? Or make sure it's been done at the right times. And then have you followed up on the initial communication? It takes much more than just one email blast to get people involved in it. So make it part of a consistent strategy. And once you've launched it, then a good number of follow-ups to make sure people are engaged and doing it as well. Okay, so that's what to do if not many families are joining. Second thing you might come up against is once they've joined, not many families are sharing. Okay, and you'll be able to see clearly, again, if you use our system. If you're doing it yourself, then you'll just be seeing it through enrolments coming in. And you've got to think about, have you set the right incentives? So once they've joined, then are the incentives at relevant intervals so they can work towards the next one? Are they incentives that their families would want to receive anyway? Have you asked in the right way? So have you got the communication right? Have you followed up? Have you made consistent communications about it? Have you shown that you're monitoring it and that you care about it, and that the people who are sharing, are you congratulating them? And you can do a nice social post just to say, this has been the first month of running this, and we really appreciate those who have been doing it. And here's an example of the leaderboard. So it's a nice way of showing that you really do care about the people who are helping you promote the camp. The next thing could be, are those referrals turning into enrolments? So you might be collecting lots of email addresses, but are they turning into registrations? And again, you need to be tracking this to see if they are. In our system, so we show this on a graph. You can see how many times the link's been viewed, how many times that turns into a referral, so collecting the email address, and then how many of those are turning into registrations. And then you can see where you need to step in and what you need to change. So if you're getting lots of traffic to the website, but that's not turning into referrals, then you need to maybe adapt the referral reward. So are you giving the referred families an incentive to join the camp? If you're not, then maybe you can adapt that. Then are they turning into registrations? So if it's low, like 24%, then you want to be thinking about how you can nurture your referrals. How can you nurture those families into registering at the camp? And that's through sending out good quality content, as we said before, and making sure that they know about your camp and can see exactly what they are going to benefit from when they attend. So, by tracking each stage, you can see where you need to step in, what you need to change to get better results. And you think about having a follow-up call with families who have shown an interest, and just make sure that they have got their questions answered, and if there's anything they need, just to push them over the edge to come to the camp. So, tracking is definitely the key to getting to finding out where the gaps are, and then what you need to change to get better results. And then finally, the last problem that you might come up against, which we hope you do, is that you'll be getting so many referrals that you can't cope. And this is what we want to achieve. We want to be getting so many families that we have to close registrations early, that we have to start a waiting list, and we're able to fill the camp nice and early. And that's the dream. If you can get your camp filled nice and early, then you know how many staff to hire, you know the revenue that's coming in, so then everything becomes so much easier. So that is the goal, the ultimate goal with this. So we hope you've got a lot from this training. We're going to go through a guided setup for how to put these campaigns in place at your camp. Thanks very much for listening. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. We've got myself and the team ready to answer your questions and ready to help you get more referrals for your camp. Okay. All the best, and thank you very much, and goodbye.